So now let's talk about data backup and what that means for the digital experience. So one of the first things when we're looking at backing up any of the data is we want to know where the data is. So when we're looking at the different software, the different components, and where data is going, we really want to know where that is and kind of what we can do about that. The reason is in some cases, like if we're just uploading it, say, to like a SQL server, we might have immediate access into that data and are able to do something with it. At other times, that software could be housing data where it's going to be very difficult to get to. And so we need to understand where that is and what we can really do about it in case something were to come up. And then after we've taken some time and understand where the data is and kind of how it's dispersed through the organizations and the different software that's associated to it, then we want to look and understand what it would take to restore that data. Because the thing is if there was some sort of issue and we were able to actually back up that data, then how would we be able to restore it? And then also knowing kind of how long would it take to get that data restored, then that way we can start to build plans just in case something happened and being able to get things going. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to backing up the data, is we want to make sure that the business can continue as it is. So if there is some sort of breach or there is something that happens that destroys data, by knowing where it is and how we can restore it, we can then put plans in place as to how long we can either go without the data or how quickly we can actually get the data set up. So the thing is if there was some sort of attack and we lost data, if we lost systems and access to the data, then we would have to understand that the business is going to have to continue without that. So that could mean not having customer records or patient records. It could mean not having vital systems. And so without those in place, how would the business be able to keep going, or if at all? The thing is with data backup, when it comes to this, and the reason all of these are yellow, orange, and red is because it's a very serious issue. A lot of companies tend to not want to back up their data and put in different parameters in place to protect it. And then when something happens to that data, they can actually lose the entire business. So that means letting all of the employees go. It means essentially starting over from scratch, if you can even do that. There could also be lawsuits that come on top of that, all just because of none of these things being in place. So by knowing how it is that we can keep the business going, how we'll restore the systems and what it'll take to get them online again, will allow us to put together a plan to keep the data back up and running and secure and ready to go in case something were to happen that would compromise the data. The next part, we're going to talk about the data connections and what those mean for our digital experience.